I don't know if you've noticed, but lately has gone from, in the last year and a half, teeming thousands of supporters at rallies all across this country, outdoor, oftentimes at, I guess, private airfields because they can't hold everybody he pretends is coming. To now, Republican dinners that any candidate could get relatively the same response at. So that's, Shazam. And apparently, I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but he's cut down on flags. Yep. Used to be, I think, 64 flags up there. 64, 65, whatever they got. And now he's down to 6. He's just got 6. And I know what you're thinking. There's 6 flags up there. There's 3 on either side of them. Therefore, 3 times 6 and 666. And this is a sign of Satan and the red lighting behind him. He's trying to get a kind of a, I don't know, like a mauve version of the evil Biden, dark Brandon lighting. Ever the poser. But no, ladies and gentlemen. This is the standard lighting for the GOP's Lincoln Day dinner live. None of this is pre-recorded. You might think that because of the smoothness of how he talks, but I doubt it. I have not seen this one. Neither of you. Not all the way through, anyways. I hope. You poor person. But here we go. The only thing I did do was fast forward past the Lee Greenwood song because he doesn't understand that it's a long song, and he still comes out midway through the first verse. And then he walks around like Mussolini for fucking 2 minutes. It's so weird. His people love it, though, so maybe he knows something about them. Like the cut to one of his advisors holding up a boombox with scream sounds on it into a microphone. Get the camera off me. There's that guy, whatever your name is. Front Row Joe's. Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And then it goes from this big roaring applause to, thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Patriots of the thingy.
Lisa, it's great to be back in Michigan. We love Michigan.
We love Michigan. So good. It's great. Michigan. They have the Grand Rapids, which are bigger than the Small Rapids.
The amazing Patriots of Oakland County.
And they wrote it in there big.
And tonight I'm deeply honored to receive the Oakland County GOP's Man of the Decade Award for the second time.
For the second time in the same decade. And even though this decade has just started, they don't know. It might be a great decade. It might suck. Who can say? I may not want it at the end. I may be a terrible decade. Who can say? This might turn out to be a shit decade. I might have to return it. He was so mad that nobody covered his damn Man of the Decade award from Oakland County, Michigan. Who else was in the running? I mean, at least dunk on the people. Nobody got it. Nobody else from Oakland, California, or Oakland County, Michigan. I always get them mixed up. This one's a lot wider than the other one, but that's pretty much how I tell them apart. Oakland, I got it. Hands down. This is the best. It's the best. I got it. I was far away. I was 40, 50 points ahead of the number 2 guy, which was Garrett Cunningham, a local plumber who's lived here his whole life, who saved the mayor from drowning. Good act, but nobody likes the mayor, so I got it. Who came in second? Like to congratulate Garrett on coming in second. He was so good. He's delivered. He's the Obi guy to the town. He's delivered every baby in the whole place. He's also the barber, cut everybody's hair. But you fuck one sheep and you come in second. Okay.
Second time, wow.
Wow, that's great. From President of the United States to Man of the Decade in Oakland County. I'll put that right on the mantle next to my picture of me with Kim Jong-un. Oh, what an asshole. Okay, here we go.
Almost 10 years to this day.
It's funny that I never, I didn't get to be president twice, but I have been reelected as the Man of the Decade, so that's a bigger term, if you think about it.
Ago, it was a great honor. In 2013, I received it, and I remember I got up and I said, how come you're allowing them to take away your car business? What did I know, right? But I was right about that.
Literally, that was after the bailout that rejuvenated the entire thing, and the Republican Party ran against the auto bailout, dummy.
But it's really an honor to be with
so good, so good.
you. I want to thank Oakland County Republican Party Chairman Vance Patrick, great guy. Great guy.
So good. Vance came in fourth, the Man of the Decade, with good reason, because apparently he came in fourth, but he lost the grab him by the pussy part of the competition, and I'm way ahead of everybody.
I recognize Michigan State Senators Jim Runstad and Jonathan Lindsay. They're great people.
They're so great. They're great.
I broke their ass.
All right.
From the bottom of my heart, they gave us a beautiful endorsement. We appreciate that.
All right. Listen to that sentence again. Do you mind?
Great people. Thank them from the bottom of my heart, they gave us a beautiful endorsement.
Thank them from the bottom of my heart. They gave us a great endorsement. Okay.
We appreciate that. Michael and so many of my friends are sitting right out there. Thank you very much. Michigan GOP Chairwoman Christina Carano.
I don't know. Maybe.
Christina Carano is...
Christopher Columbus. Christopher, huh?
She's a hard worker. She's working very hard. She wants...
Is she? Well, I mean, I'm glad she's on brand. As a hard worker, she's working very hard.
To keep this as a very honest election. Not easy to do.
Yes, there was a lot of cheating. Dominion machines were used in the Man of the Decade competition. There were a lot of these ballots came in. They were covered in bandages. We knew they were from China, but I won anyways.
The great senators, one of the most powerful people. By the way, an incredible football coach. He was an incredible football coach, and now he's an incredible senator. Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Where's Tommy? Tommy! He's an incredible man.
Yeah, he's blocking the head of... we don't have a commandant or whatever for the commander for the Navy right now because of that asshole. He's just blocking people. It's from Alabama. Why the people in Michigan... Is the Michigan senators not going to come?
Thank you. And they love him in Alabama.
Ah, they love him down there. He didn't get much applause up here. He doesn't get much applause. He could get a lot of applause, but he doesn't. In Alabama, they love him. There's people lined up around the block.
I love him all over the country.
They love him long time. What?
Somebody that really put up a good fight, fought very, very hard for Governor Tudor Dixon. Where's Tudor? She's a terrific
Oh, he means she lost.
person. And
she's so good. She's so good she's as good as a loser could be. She's good.
She fought hard.
She fought hard and lost.
A friend of all of ours and a very well-known person in Michigan. He's a great restaurateur, Mark Zarkin. Thank you very much, Mark. It was a fantastic job. The food is very good, Mark.
Would you have to get a name check because he catered the thing for free?
We could use him in a lot of our cities all over the country. If we could get a little younger version, he doesn't mind when I say that. I said what this city needs is a young Rudy Giuliani, and he's here. Where is he?
Ew.
Where is Rudy? Rudy, you're fantastic, Rudy.
He's so fantastic. He's just, what's the word? Fantastic. You could, if I didn't even have to point, you could smell him.
Greatest mayor in the history of New York.
Well, the greatest one to ever give someone COVID by farting on them. I mean, in that category, he's a man who stands alone.
And also are friends with the Dominican fathers and sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary.
That's a lot.
They're with
Wait, what's this title again? Run this by me again.
And also are friends with the Dominican fathers and sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. They're with us tonight. They've been
That's a lot. That's a big name. That's a guy that needs. Is that hyphenated?
with us right from the beginning. They're here someplace. Thank you, and thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right from the beginning. And by the way, you see Biden
Yeah, it was them and Jeff Sessions. How's he doing?
now, the real Biden on religion. He's not in favor of religion.
Goes to church every Sunday, fuckhead.
He can talk all he wants, but what they've done to Catholics and what they've done to
He is a Catholic, stupid.
evangelicals, what they've done to every...
What have they done? What can't you do as an evangelical? Do you have to? Is the government forcing you to have an abortion? No. Are they making you gay? Do you have to marry someone? Like you have to marry? You have to perform same-sex marriages? No, you don't. Do you have to be in one? No. Is it no? Any of the have all the mega churches shut down? Are they anything? No.
Everybody is a disgrace. So the sisters got it long before anybody else, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for forgiving me for grabbing you by the pussy. But again, I guess you don't have any choice. The Lord makes you.
Thank you, all of you, for being here. It's a great honor. For 7 years.
How? How is it a great honor? Explain it to us.
All of us have been fighting side by side to rescue our country from the sinister forces who truly hate our country and want to destroy it.
You know, I mean, obviously you're not talking about Putin and Kim Jong-un.
And now we are approaching the most important battle of our lives. This is the most important election we've ever had, without question.
Yeah, I think the first one you got elected, a lot of people thought it wasn't, and then they realized you got in. They're like, oof.
On November 5th, 2024, we are going to stand up to the Marxists, the communists, the fascists,
All 9 of them?
and the globalists. And we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win big. We're going to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House. You notice I took the word away. I retired the
Oh my God, yeah. I stopped calling Hillary that, and now I call Biden that because crooked is it. Because I'm, I guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Is that what we're using?
word from crooked Hillary Clinton because I felt that Joe Biden needed it much more. He's crooked Joe. We're going to finish what we started, and we will make America great again. We will.
Hello, bullshit.
For decades, the globalist vultures in Washington viciously betrayed Michigan workers and families like nobody can even believe. And
Like nobody even saw it. You guys lived here and you didn't even see it. Nobody could believe it, and yet it happened.
they threw open our borders, plundering your factories and shipping your jobs to foreign lands, sometimes
By they, I mean largely the Bush administration,
to lands that you've never even heard of.
because you're uneducated. You didn't go to Wharton. You don't know these things. You're stupid. And thank God I love the stupid people. I call them uneducated, but I really mean stupid. There you go.
Michigan lost nearly 40% of all manufacturing jobs, everything after the NAFTA catastrophe in China's entrance into the World Trade Organization. Yeah, sit down, everybody. Yeah, sit down.
Yeah, you've heard this before. Your knees are gonna go if you stand for all this. I'm going to basically say the same three things over and over and over again. If you try to stand, you'll probably collapse.
I'm excited to be here also. Sit down. We'll be with you for a little while. Sit down.
We'll be with you. This is gonna be a while. Oh boy.
Out and enjoy it. I think everybody, great. I'm very honored by the fact you stand, but you sit down. Thank you.
This is where we go back 5 minutes and everybody's already sitting, 80% of them. So he wants the front two rows to sit down because the front row Joes showed up and they're blocking everybody.
But after years of cruel
sit down, it's a dinner, and you have desserts coming.
sellouts by past.
Don't clank your forks on your plates during my speech. Just do it when I say MAGA. That will get noisy, and then you can eat really quick, and then you stop.
Leaders, you finally got a president who put Michigan first and put America first. It took a long time. And
yeah. Now explain why Republicans were against the bailout and Obama was for it, and why the big three were salvaged, and why Biden's for union jobs, and why the auto workers are supporting him. Anyways.
Just as I promised, I saved the U.S. auto industry from total destruction.
I did. People were going to put the whole industry in one of those things that squashes you into a block. And I said, nope.
And I talked about it 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
And then Obama did it. And I was like, I should get credit because he did it, but I said it after he did it, but then still.
Talked about it for a long time. What they've done, they've taken almost 50% of manufacturing ability and brought it into other countries.
50% of manufacturing ability.
All the gear that you had to teach these people.
And then, by the way, I love that in the middle of this, the ad that comes up is,
invest in gold. You got money sitting around. It's not going to be worth much. You want gold. It's so nice and it's shiny. And even if it's not worth anything because it's just a pretty rock, your trophy wife might want you to, mash it flat into that really fine stuff and put it all over the furniture.
Other countries are making cars now at a level that nobody can believe. I ended the disaster.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it. I'm just not going to. Some of this has to be true. So I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't. The level they're building cars, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Anything over 25 cars a day, bullshit. I don't call it. Not.
Known as NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with the best trade deal ever made, the USMCA, that's Mexico and Canada. The USMCA is creating tens of thousands of jobs in the United States.
It didn't do it while I was president, but magically, when Joe Biden is in there, that's when it's coming. It's doing really well.
And it's just been amazing the way it's worked. In fact,
it's amazing. It's worked so good. Even the communists can't stop it. Joe Biden has turned us into communism. But USMCA is so strong. It's so strong that even Marx would have gotten a job working at an auto plant. Lenin himself.
The jobs are so strong here that Mexico and Canada want to renegotiate the deal. Isn't that nice?
Also, no, they don't. Again, USMCA is a mild modification of NAFTA. He just wanted to change the fucking name. Everybody was was talking about modifying it for a long time. But the 2008 crash, that was actually on the agenda for Obama, but the 2008 crash kind of punted it, you could say. But the variations on it are so fucking mild.
Tommy Tuberville says, isn't that
he's here, he knows. He's a guy.
nice? Because we have had bad deals, every single one, but with tough new requirements to ensure more cars are made in American factories by American workers, and it's happening right here in Michigan. And this had nothing to do with the Democrats. They're going to end it.
Yeah, they're going to end it. That's the thing, Democrats. We got to stop people from making cars, especially in Michigan. You know what I mean? I know a lot of you liked Obama, voted for him twice. I know I did, but I don't know why he had to save the auto industry. I guess it was just to put it off so it could like set him up for a big fall. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I think that's what he was doing. Obama saved the car industry just so he could super embarrass them by letting it crash later.
They want every car to be all electric, except you don't make all electric cars too much. You know who does? China.
Also, the big three make plenty of electric cars, and one of the battery factories is in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district in Georgia. I showed this earlier, but like go look up China EV graveyard.
China makes them.
They make boo. Chinese people, they make wind-up cars as well. They make cars that you crank the thing in the back, and then they go a little while, but they don't go very far, and then you got to get out and crank it.
The deal was so good that Mexico and Canada now,
Want to renegotiate it?
as I said, are working very diligently
They put it in the speech anyways.
to destroy that deal and replace it with a deal that's very much in their favor.
They want to do MCAUS. They want to turn it all around on us. They don't like USMCA. They want MAUSC. Why? Because they hate us.
do it.
See you real soon.
Biden administration, don't do it.
Don't. I told them not to do it, and it didn't happen, so they're clearly, I'm still president.
Yeah, but nobody actually wanted.
Never mind.
When I took office, the job-killing Trans-Pacific
No means no, even if I don't believe it.
Sorry, we're never going to
Partnership.
get through this.
was set to slaughter U.S. automakers. It was slaughtering them. It was going to be a disaster. I stopped it. I vetoed it. I stopped it in its tracks.
Wait, slaughtered what? Hold on. What'd you stop? Give me a second. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Do you? Hold on, wait.
Mexico and Canada now, as I said, are working very diligently to destroy
Very diligently together.
that deal and replace it with a deal that's very much in their favor. Don't do it, Biden administration. Don't do it. When I took office, the job-killing Trans-Pacific Partnership
Oh, TPP. Okay, I didn't hear that part because I was too busy laughing at his. Yeah, TPP. He got paid by China to get rid of that. Prove me wrong.
was set to slaughter U.S. automakers. It
No, it wasn't. It was literally a deal to contain China.
was slaughtering them. It was going to be a disaster.
It's going to be a slaughtery disaster, disastery
I
slaughter.
stopped it. I vetoed it. I stopped it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, and $17 million showed up in a bank account that you have in China the very next day, and you took $15 million of it out in cash that night. Weird. That's 3 times the alleged bribe that supposedly Biden got that nobody has receipts for. Weird.
In its tracks. Every worker and supplier at Ford, GM, and Chrysler
Owes me their fucking job, and if you don't vote for me, you ingrates. This whole country deserves to go down the shitter.
would have been crushed. They would have been out of business. It would have taken them out of business.
Taking them out of business, that's what happened.
Nobody
Yes, it's true, Stargal. Yes. Trump got paid $17 million after he killed TPP.
understood it. Now they understood it. Joe Biden and Ron DeSanctimonious were both all in favor of it. But we stopped it cold. If I hadn't, you wouldn't have any auto production in Michigan, just as
Again, what? TPP didn't have anything to do with auto production, you asshat. What? If anything, it would have slowed down China's advancement in the EV market. Not even close. What? Look, I don't even know who in that audience actually believes this shit, and if they work at an auto plant, actually, they know it's not true, so they've got to be sitting there, whatever, I don't care. As long as he doesn't like immigrants, I don't care what he says the rest of the
I
time.
promised the people of Michigan, I withdrew from, it's called TPP.
He's just saying it again?
Name TPP, I withdrew on day one. I totally renegotiated Obama and Biden's horrendous Korea trade deal, one of the worst trade deals. But I renegotiated it. It would have flooded our market with foreign pickup trucks and cars, decimating your industry.
That's right. The Hyundais, you just can't. All these Hyundais would have just bulldozed everybody. Nobody would want a Trans Am or a Corvette or a F-150 anymore when you can get a Hyundai.
Did it, and I made it into a great deal. It's now a great deal for you. I also placed historic tariffs.
Again, how, like, what? Lighthizer did that, and they were already, this was shit that had been going on for decades.
On all foreign aluminum and foreign steel, which saved your steel industry. Otherwise, you wouldn't even have a steel industry.
If I wasn't president for 4 years,
Yeah, Hyundais are made in Arkansas. That's true, Doc, in Paradise.
but again, they've got a funny foreign name, Doc. So you could tell. I mean, that's the thing about Koreans; they steal your jobs, even if you have them. The jobs, I mean, not the Koreans. That's not allowed. Not yet, anyways. I'm working on that as well. Hang out.
Jesus.
And if you don't have steel, you don't have a country. Like borders, like elections, you got to have real elections. We don't have real elections.
Now we gotta have elections and borders and steel and rubber helps. Rubber's good. Rubber's important or whatever. Corn. You can't. If you don't have corn, you don't have a cookout. If you don't have a cookout, you don't have a country. That's the rule. I don't go to those things because you have to wear shorts and I keep getting thrown out.
We have fake elections.
How the fuck do you think I became man of the decade twice?
Can we just say that, like, today's kind of special because you have two guys, this guy, neither one of which thought that they would be having to say what they're having to say in front of the group of people they're having to say it to at any time in their life, much less so soon. Like, why am I have to do this? I'm worth $200 billion. I could be fucking May Musk right now. Yeah, I mean, in a consensual relationship, by the way. I'm sure. Jesus Christ. Both of these idiots are like,
I'm winning. I just gotta stop losing first.
I stood up to China like no administration has ever done before, bringing in
what do you mean, barely?
hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into our treasury from China when no other president had gotten them to pay even 10 cents. China.
Again, I don't know where he says even 10 cents. It happens all the fucking time. Of course, we've had tariffs with China before. What are you talking about? They're still on.
Never gave us anything except
They never got us anything.
lip service. And when China targeted our farmers, which they did viciously and violently, I said to our Secretary of Agriculture, what's the damage that they did over the years?
What's the damage of my trade war with China? How much of are our farmers losing? And he said they're losing like $28 billion. So if you call Xi Jinping, he can devalue his currency and just write you a check, and that'll assure your reelection, and then China can get a great deal out of it. And then I'm just saying, as soon as you finish your second term, you're walking straight through the doors of Trump Tower Beijing, Trump Tower or Shanghai, bunch of golf courses over there. I mean, if you look at the Chinese economy, it's smooth sailing from this point forward.
It was $28 billion. So I gave our farmers $28 billion.
And it's not socialism. It's just think of it as buying votes, which is what could be more capitalist than that.
From China. I got it from China, straight out of the tariffs.
Think of it as like they paid us $28 billion so that they could infect us with COVID, and it only cost us 1 million people.
That China was paying $28 billion to our farmers. That's why when they say, how are you doing in Iowa? How are you doing in Nebraska? I said,
I said, I bought those votes. I paid good money for those votes with Chinese money. They gave me the money. We worked it out. I had a call with Xi Jinping. We're very close. Little did I know he was trying to sneak a disease in, kill everybody. Found that out later. Don't like him so much now. But at the time, I suckered right into that.
There's no way the farmers are voting against me. I got them $28 billion, but you know.
Yeah, they were making that amount of money, and most of them weren't American at this point, but they fuck them if they don't vote for me because they're terrible people.
Never know, do you? Except we just had a poll come out of Iowa where I'm leading by 47%, so I'd have to...
Yes, in the Republican primary based on the Lincoln Day dinner in Des Moines.
I'd have to lose pretty...
Of all the Republicans in this room, and I'm the only one running for president that's allowed to be here in the same room. I don't let Ron DeSanctimonious anywhere near me. I don't let Ada Hutchinson, I call him Ada for a reason that I have up here, which is that I can't say Asa because of dementia. The S's and D's sometimes mixed up, and I just say them. I just say it. I always remember it wrong first, and that's why. But I say it like that. I'm here. Of all the people currently on stage, who's your favorite? And I'm winning by like 43 points.
Quickly. Now we're doing great.
Nah, we're doing great. That's a giveaway sentence, don't you think? Yeah, it's super going. Nah, we're doing okay. We're doing, yeah, that's right.
In Iowa, we're doing great all over. Ron.
You're doing great. You're doing great here in Michigan.
Michigan gave us Motown, gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang. They said, oh.
Ron DeSantis opposed my China tariffs very strongly, and
No, he didn't.
simply put, he sided with the communists in China while I fought for workers in America.
Simply put, in deference to you idiots, who you'd have to be pretty thick to even be here. You're dumb. I can tell by your clothing. I mean, I've never had abs. I'm certainly never going to.
And success.
What is that shirt, ma'am? Why are you wearing a picture of me, my head on Rocky's body? I mean, I like it, but I'm not going to grab you by the Rocky crotch.
Successfully fought.
I'm getting loopy from watching this dickhead. Stupid.
Successfully, like nobody has ever fought.
Like nobody's ever thought before. Nobody's ever done this before. Like nobody's ever seen before. Like nobody's ever done before. Like nobody's ever seen before. Like nobody's ever seen anything like this. And they've ever done anything like this before. Like fucking hell. How many times?
So successfully. No president has fought harder either for Michigan than I have. No president has ever fought harder. I saw what was happening from day one.
Nobody's ever done this. Except maybe, I guess, all the early presidents when we were just starting to have cars. No president, except maybe Hitler. He and Henry Ford they were like this, and this was Hitler. He was on top. They were very close.
And sadly, none has betrayed
Thanks,
Michigan
Carl.
more than crooked Joe Biden. He's betrayed your state because he's allowing people.
He's betrayed your state, by the way. Your state is not safe.
And sadly, none has betrayed Michigan more than crooked Joe Biden. He's betrayed your state because he's...
Yes, your state has been totally betrayed. It's terrible. I don't know how he did it.
allowing people to take away your jobs at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
At a level nobody's ever seen before. Nobody's ever done this before, like nobody's ever thought of, like nobody could believe.
You'll see it over the next couple of years, right?
You're not seeing it right now. Obviously, there's like 2 job openings for every person in the goddamn state, and especially black people in the state have never had a lower unemployment. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I would like to say, if in a couple of years, when I'm back in the White House, you're gonna see unemployment, boy.
Now you're not feeling it as much because of...
Yeah, because I did such a great job. This is such the Spinal Tap. Like, he was so bad, they were still booing him when we came on.
what we did, but you'll see it. For 3 years, Biden and his radical left allies have waged war on American auto workers like nobody has witnessed to this extent before.
To this extent, he's rewording. He's started to recognize that he's actually saying the same shit over and over again. And he's, to this extent, in these circumstances, at this level, nobody's even listening. Like, he's saying the phrase so many times, like nobody's ever said before.
3 years, Biden and his radical left allies have waged war on American auto workers like nobody has witnessed to this extent before.
Fucking hell. To this extent before.
In his ridiculous crusade to force everyone into electric cars.
How is everyone being forced into electric cars, stupid?
And by the way, they have a place. Right now, they're selling at about 5%. They have a place. They want them to sell at 100%.
But because we're a free country, they can only encourage things. Also, they're only available at that level. It's a new technology. At this point, right now, the White House, the Biden White House, wants to force everyone to go to space. Right now, the only tourists that are going to space are rich people. But, you know, they're going to make all of you go to space. They're not even going to let you wear a spacesuit. They're going to what? You're going to wear one of those. Jeff Bezos is going to send you to space in a brown package.
But we don't have the goods to make them. You know who has the goods? China has the goods.
China's got the goods. The goods. He means lithium. The goods.
China has the countries and controls the countries with what they need for the batteries. But
like what?
You know, we have more than anybody else, including
gasoline, oil. I call it liquid gold. It's under our feet.
Saudi Arabia and Russia. We have liquid gold right under our feet.
What'd I say? Jesus Christ. Hey, man. Don't even get me started, because just give me a straw, man. I'll get some of that. I'll get that, them oil fields is started for you. They always taught us up there, after we saw it opening that pilot show of Beverly Hillbillies, they made us learn how to start an oil well. How do you think I became king of the prom? Woohoo!
Biden has doubled the cafe standards.
Well, that's look. Them fancy liberals like to eat at cafes. Me myself, I eat at Mickey D's, buddy. Cafe. I don't understand that coffee rodeo stuff. Or coffee, you know what I mean? Them that coffee and bullfight shit they do. Cafe ole. Remember that? I don't understand that at all.
Costing automakers an estimated $200 billion, and that number is going up.
Yeah, that's too small a number, man.
And sending car prices skyrocketing.
They're skyrocketing all over the place. There's, obviously not in
the numbers should skyrocket downward.
Yeah, that's how. I mean, skyrocket can go anyway. I will say that it doesn't stop being a skyrocket just because it runs out of steam and crashes. Remember that dude who's going to prove that there is no space and that the Lord made the firmament and he was going to go up there and touch it? He was going to fly up there in his rocket and he was going to touch that cake thing that goes over top of the earth that the Lord made, and he painted the galaxy on it. And this guy's like, y'all are full of shit. And he got in his rocket and he flew up to it. He didn't really have a plan on the come down. You got to have a plan on the come down, man. You got
the numbers should skyrocket downward.
It's just not don't make. I'm just saying.
And killing thousands and thousands of U.S. auto jobs. In addition to which you can't produce because you can't get the chips, and you can't have your supply chain is a disaster. The whole country is a mess.
Yeah, we don't got no supply chain. We ain't got no chips. We got no guacamole. We've been sitting here at the table. We got queso. Who needs queso without chips? And they ain't even giving us a spoon. Let me get in there.
Biden is a catastrophe for Michigan, and his environmental extremism is heartless and
I don't like it.
Disloyal and horrible for the American worker.
Horrible. It's horrible, man. It's horrible.
And you're starting to see it.
I am starting to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen. Congrats, Michael, on your date with Henrietta. I hope you score consensually. And if you don't, you can get home and just have at yourself. And it consensually. Sometimes I play hard to get, but still, it's just tease. It's a tease. I know I'm always going to give in. Anyways.
Driven by his ridiculous regulations.
Terrible regulations. That whole thing about like clean water, clean air, not having lithium and cobalt in the rivers and streams.
Electric
Thank Brian.
cars will kill more than half of U.S. auto jobs and
More than half. Won't they create an equal half in the process? Because if you're, let's say, I'm trying to work this out. Let's say you're making a car and it's a regular old gas burning something or other that kicks up a storm and gives you a big vroom vroom when you're running down the quarter mile. And then they say, hey, you ain't Ficus, man. You ain't going to be making that car anymore. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm out of a job. And they're like, you're going to be making the same version of the car, but like super silent, like a ninja. And it just goes like that. And they won't even hear you coming up on them. And it goes 3 times as fast and goes just about as long. Now, you got to stop and charge it, which will take you longer than filling up your tank by about a half hour. But, you know, you pull up at the right motel with a gas pump inside it, that's a good stop. I'm just saying that's way better than a magazine. And so, and then you're back on the road again. I'm just saying, so technically, did you switch jobs or did your job get destroyed and a new job got created, or is it the same job with a different that used to go home and now goes woo? Is that, am I missing anything?
The suppliers, they're being decimated already. Decimate the suppliers, and it's going to decimate your jobs.
Oh, the decimation. I cannot even handle the amount of decimation.
And it's going to decimate more than anybody else. The state of Michigan, it's going to be.
That's where he is right now. I know. You may think this is just a crass attempt to appeal to the audience in front of him, but it ain't. It's a personal warning. He didn't even supposed to give a speech tonight. He just came up there to tell him. It's like, he's not like a presidential candidate. He's like Donald Sutherland in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Only in reverse. Like it ain't too late. Never mind.
Decimation. It's going to be at a level that people can't even imagine.
I can't imagine it. You're right. Probably because it ain't happening. You know what? Soon as it happens, I'll be able to imagine it. I think.
Meanwhile, the cars don't go far.
They don't go very far. They go like 300, 400 miles.
The range is even worse in the winter.
That's true. When it's cold outside and you got to turn the heat on, I guess.
The materials are all made in China.
Really? All the materials? Even the glass?
And it takes so much.
Where do they get the glass and frame and stuff for the regular cars then? Have we always been getting that shit from China?
Energy to produce the batteries that electric cars don't even break even environmentally for at least 5 to 10 years. They'll never break even.
Yeah, it says 5 to 10 years in the teleprompter, though, but that doesn't mean it's true. Just because it's written in his speech doesn't mean it's true. Who are you going to believe? His speech or his wandering ramblings during the speech that contradict what's in the speech? You know what I mean? Like who are you going to believe, man? I don't get it.
Catastrophe waiting.
Telling me
to happen. And if somebody wants an election,
why is it waiting though? If it's a catastrophe, why is it waiting to happen? What's the fucking holdup? Look, Biden's in office. He's been in there for 2.5 years. What is the catastrophe waiting for? Besides you to get back in office, which I don't want to nitpick, sounds a little bit like you're the catastrophe. I'm just saying you could probably rework that in the speech.
electric car, I'm all for it. But you should be able to have a choice of many different versions of automation.
That is true. You should have lots of different automation. If you might have them big robotic arms that go bzz, bzz, and build a car, or perhaps a Lego-based system, or maybe somebody with just some hand cranks like some Amish dudes with some wood levering. All kinds of automation. He didn't mean automation, did he? He just said automation. But he wasn't talking about automate. What? Back up. You should have what?
And if somebody wants an electric car, I'm all for it. But you should be able to have a choice of many different versions of automation.
Who gives a shit how their car was built? And what does he mean? Locomotion? What does that even, I don't even, honest to God, like normally I'm here to translate Trump for y'all, but yawn with that one.
And automobiles.
I see. Oh, he fixed it. You should have your choice of different kinds of automation and automobiles, both or neither.
I'm all for it. But you should be able to have a choice of many different versions of automation and automobiles.
Both. You could pick. You could maybe have an automotive that is automated, or an automatic, or a stick shift automotive that is made by hand. Maybe one of them kit cars. Just a fuck up, I think, at this point.
It's crazy what they're doing.
It is crazy. It is crazy that that you have to now specify the kind of automation that's used to make your car.
You know, in California, they're talking about all electric cars, and yet they're having blackouts all summer long. We have no electricity. Now they want to go all
I think you mean Texas.
electric. And, you know, some people want to be able to drive more than an hour and a half.
No, they really don't. Some people need to, but they don't want to. And by the way, maybe that's true. I don't know. But I would rather hear about that from somebody that can, wait for it, actually drive. Because I don't know about you, but I don't know when the last time he was in California is, so I don't know what the shit he's talking about. But also, he can't drive. He can't drive a car. He can drive a golf cart, but so can a 9-year-old if their legs are long enough.
The governor of your state is now giving away hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of Michigan taxpayer money to Chinese companies, and one in particular called Grosjean.
What's it called? Hey, say that name again. We're going to have to look it up.
Of Michigan taxpayer money to Chinese.
I'm not even a Michigan taxpayer. Don't like her.
These companies, and one in particular called Grosjean.
Grosjean. That sounds like a company that makes them lights so you can grow weed in your basement.
To build batteries in Michigan. Now it
oh dear.
Sounds good, but the money's going to Chinese companies. And then they're going to leave. They're planning to leave. You watch. They'll take our money, and then they say, bye-bye, you stupid fools.
Is it, did they say it in Chinese, or is that like the only phrase they learn? Very weird. So they're just setting up a factory here so they can pack up and fuck off. That seems rather... Why wouldn't they just deny the jobs in the first place instead of employing a bunch of people for a while, and then those people might see how they make stuff and then open up their own business making... Never mind.
That's good for China, but it's bad for America. It's bad for Michigan. And it's very bad for the unions. You know, I'm somebody that gets along with the unions. Actually, the top people are so in love with Democrats because they go to parties together and all. But the people.
That's right. They love to party with Democrats at the big Democrat party.
People that are in the union.
I don't know if you've ever heard that, but the Democrat Party is a giant fucking party. It's weird. That's all they do. They just party.
They love me. You know, when I approved the Keystone Pipeline, I met the pipeline workers, and they were all for me. They were all for me.
Yeah, a good portion of them are Canadian, but okay.
But their leader was against me. He was
Justin Trudeau
for Joe Biden. And this was the biggest pipeline, one of the biggest pipelines in the world. 50,000 jobs. And on day one, they terminated the Keystone Pipeline.
And yet, oil is cheap again. Weird.
So I wonder how that man did. He didn't do too well. The head of the union it was a disaster.
I don't know what's his name. You met with him. You obviously know how he votes, how he is. And stuff. What's his name? Tell us his name. You remember what his name is? What is it? You have the best memory and the best words, and you know everybody. Tell him. Don't be afraid. Tell him.
But
you're not afraid. What am I even saying? Trump ain't afraid of nobody. Okay.
You know, the union workers support me far more than they support Democrats.
Yeah, they just vote for Democrats, but they totally support you. On a as viewers of The Apprentice, they didn't vote for you, but they liked laughing at you when you hosted that game show.
And they're great people, and they're talented people, and they've been treated very badly, and their leadership, they pay their dues and everything, and their leadership has treated union workers very, very badly, very unfairly.
How? Tell them how. You read the whole thing. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna it's exhausting pulling my teeth in like that the whole time.
This maniacal push for all electric cars is killing the United States, killing Michigan, is a total boon for China. And it's because Biden is being paid off, we just found out yesterday. He's being paid off by China. He's been paid millions and millions of dollars in bribes. They're bribing him.
To treat them like shit?
And all of those people, see these people, they don't want to talk about it.
Yes, all these people in the Chinese, they don't want to talk about it because apparently he's defending Taiwan and killing their tech industry and driving their economy into the ground. So they don't want to talk about how much they bribed him because it makes them look dumb that they gave him money to treat them like that.
I just saw a camera go off right now. They don't want to hear about it, even though it's 100%. The reason that this has happened.
Boo media who showed up to film this, who decided 20 minutes in that they're shocked by what he's saying, even though he says the same thing all the time, who turned their cameras off, who are not even... By the way, somebody took a flash photo of him. It reflected in the podium. That's what he saw, not... Cameras, they don't go... If it went out like that, it would have shorted out.
And the reason that all of these things are taking place with China and there's no retribution...
Yes, we need retribution. That's the important thing.
...is because he's being paid off. And you know who likes all-electric cars is the... You know the companies that are doing the best with all-electric cars? Do you know who it is? The tow truck companies. Those tow truck, and I love them too. I love them too. I probably won't get their vote, but I'll get everybody else's vote. No,
I get everybody's vote except the tow truck guys. Well, you don't give them any business because you can't drive a car. What?
Tow truck companies, because they don't know where the hell to charge their car. They're in the middle of the country. Oh my, what do I do? Where's the charger?
Yeah, they have a map of all the closest ones and apps, and it's very... You've been driving and you're running low on gas on a cross-country car trip, and you have to look it up on your phone, and you're like, I shouldn't be looking at this. I'm driving. That kind of stuff. Or you pull over and you're trying to find a gas station, and you blew off that last gas for 40 miles sign behind you, and you're like, fuck, I'm on fumes and there's traffic. What am I going to do? Yeah, your car does that for you when it's electric. It literally charts like, here's your last chance to get charged, and then you can do this here. Also, if you can just find any house with a plug, you have your little adapter. You can just and get your, hang out, make a friend, and then fuck off down the road. By the way, nobody at a house you would just kind of drive up to in an emergency would just have a gas can sitting around.
You know who boosts up the charges? Huh? Do you know who does it? Oil and gas and coal. That's the one that boosts the charger.
That's the one that boosts the charger.
The whole thing is crazy. This country has gone crazy. You know, I said recently at a speech, I thought it was quite clever so far.
Nobody else
Nobody's
does.
really mentioned it.
Right. You thought it was smart, but everybody realized it was dumb.
Because if I'm clever, they don't like talking about it. Although
No, believe me, if you're ever clever, it'll be news.
we've been getting quite good reviews. We did a good one last night. Got a lot of good reviews. And the polls are the reviews because we're leading by so much. But, you know, I said the other day, we're like April Fool's Day.
Oh, this shit. I thought he's going to do the April Fool's Day bit.
Everything's the opposite.
Oh my God, he's going to run through this whole shit, isn't he?
They want open borders so that people can flood our country. They come from insane asylums. They come from mental institutions. They come from prisons. They come from all sorts of places. We don't even know who they are. We don't even know what countries they're coming from. That's April Fool's. Who wants to know?
All right. No, it isn't. It's, I mean, you could say it was like a nightmare or something. I mean, it's fictitious and crazy. But that's not how April Fool's Day. Can you tell this asshole has no friends? This country has gone crazy. Yeah. No.
At some April, I knew an April once. I mean, I didn't really know her. I just grabbed her. I don't have to know her. All I need to know is she knew who I was, and I just start grabbing. And she was a fool.
Open border. We want people to come into our country. Rudy understands that better than anybody. But
why? Why would Rudy Giuliani understand that better, quote, than anybody? What? When has the border been his cause celeb? And he tried to get a handy from a woman he thought was a 15-year-old Kazakh girl.
they have to come in legally. The job you did in New York was so amazing. You don't get enough credit for it.
Yeah, stopping all those Mexicans from coming across the border from New Jersey, swimming across. What? Give you a thumbs up. Not gonna pay you. Don't have the money. Not gonna pay you. But hey, me mentioning your name in many ways, isn't that better than money? Honestly, you could walk into any restaurant in the country that sells waffles and eggs and is open 24 hours. You can tell them, I'm Rudy Giuliani. Donald Trump should have called ahead, and they will give you a free combo plate. Except they won't.
They want high. That's very impressive, Rudy, by the way. They want high interest rates.
No, they don't.
They want high taxes. They want to quadruple your taxes. Now, that's April Fool's. Who ever heard? You know, when I was growing up, every politician would say, we are going to lower your taxes. They say, we are going to raise your taxes.
Yeah, no. The only people who would hear from Democrats, we are going to raise your taxes, is multi-billionaires. And, sorry, there aren't enough of those people to sway an election, statistically. And there certainly wasn't when he was growing up.
And they don't, you know, look.
Let me tell you a story. You guys want me to do the snake? I won't do the snake.
They also want no voter ID because they want to cheat on elections.
No, we want a federal ID that no state can take away, that works everywhere. We don't want different standards for what qualifies as an ID, but Republicans keep killing that because they think it's mark of the beast.
They don't want same-day voting. They don't want paper ballots.
Same-day voting, what the fuck do you mean? He means one-day voting. Same-day voting You vote the same day you voted. Shit. Thank you, JD.
ballots. They never want any of that stuff because they want to cheat on elections, right? It's April Fools. Who wants that? Who wants to cheat? Even 82% of Democrats want voter ID.
Yeah, we want a federally paid for ID that doesn't cost anything so that people have an ID they can use as American citizens, period, end of story. And Republicans run interference on that because they insist that it is the devil's work. None shall do business without my marks. They thought the same thing about the Social Security number.
They want voter ID. We want one-day elections. We want all paper ballots. We have to get back to it. You know, in France,
In France, a country with 1/6 our population and 1/8 our voting public,
in France, I recently had an election, and
they used paper ballots, just like most of you did, because you used a screen, it printed out, you looked at it, you could check it, and then you put it in a thing, and it tallied it, and then the paper version of it was stored until that time. They used a similar system. Also, all of them are tallied electronically, but who cares?
used to have mail-ins, and they gave it up because it was so corrupt. Because once it, you know, it goes through everything. Some people get 7, 8 ballots.
No, they don't.
But France gave it up. And they had an election, and they had 36 million people vote. At 10 o'clock, everybody knew who.
Yes, 36 million people. %10 of the U.S. population. 10%.
won. It was a one-day election. It was paper ballots. It was.
This is like, it was kind of like if you took Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle, and you took their mayor elections and you swapped them together, you could, yeah.
Voter ID. They had a winner. They had a loser, and that was the end of it. So crazy. What's happening to our country?
Ours just took a couple of days because we wanted you to lose big.
It's like April.
And you did, but we had to count it a bunch of times to remind everybody that you lost big. Thanks, Robin.
Fools, everybody. No voter ID. Open.
Okay, all right. I'm literally bored with this idiot. It's the same. How do the people who watch this not lose their goddamn mind? How? How is this not just brutally tiresome for them? Here's, let me see if I can, I'm going to grab the other one real quick. This is the Faith and Freedom one.
Ladies and
What I had a proud to do. This is the by Faith and Fascism Conference. We're here with all the great Christian patriots, both of them and the rest of you. And they're leaving. Okay, fine. Christian patriots have left the room. Good. We can speak freely about these nut jobs. Who prays? What a loser thing to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, all hundreds of you. This is way better than a crowd of 65,000 in a football stadium giving me the illusion of popularity when you're really all just gathering here because you hate immigrants. Now, if I may, let me go back to reading what I was going to read and gripping the podium like I'm about to throw up, and it's like a giant toilet.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back with so many proud American patriots who.
That's why I memorized this. I memorized the speech. Normally I would read this, but who needs a teleprompter when the love is so real? Am I right?
Michigan gave us Motown.
Yes, who would need that?
I had to beat off.
Believe in God, family, and country. Thank you very much. This is a great group of.
Thank you for believing in God, family, and country. All three things which are just code for me. Thank you. Just those are hashtags that actually mean MAGA for maggots.
And I want to thank a man of incredible commitment, vision, and devotion, Ralph.
Then do it.
Reed. And Ralph, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. Very interesting day to have a birthday because a big decision came down 1 year ago today. So that's very interesting. That's very interesting.
He'll be back. Trump 2024 limited bobblehead. The Trumpinator. The only upside to this is that he doesn't get a dime. But if I was Schwarzenegger, I would sue.
Let me also recognize.
Somebody just yelled, "You're the real president." Well, then, why is the country going to hell? If he's the real president,
Why is he secretly signing all this legislation? That's what you're asking?
Faith and Freedom Coalition Executive
Faith in what? I'm sorry?
today. So that's
Faith in Ferdum?
That's very interesting. Let me also recognize Faith and Freedom Coalition
Ferdum?
Executive Director Tim Head. Tim, thank you very much. Tim, wherever you may be.
Tim Head, is that your name or is that what you do? I kid. I steal a lot of jokes. I steal them mainly from the best. Andrew Dice Clay. The other ones.
Thank you, Tim. Great job. As well as Senator
Great job having a last name Head and living to tell the tale.
Lindsey Graham. Lindsey, thank you very much.
Graham?
He's gotten
All right,
very
hold
much
on.
more conservative, I have to tell you.
does that
Carrie
mean?
Lake.
I turned this up as best I could.
Alveda King. Alveda.
Alveda sounds like Velveeta, and you're smooth and cheesy, just like me. That's why I like
You
you.
may be.
Wherever you may be, probably in the fridge, although I don't think you have to refrigerate Alveda.
Alveda.
I think it's good at room temperature.
Frank Pavone. Frank, thank you very much.
Also sounds like a cheese. It really does. Pavone sounds like a kind of cheese.
Thank you.
Everybody up here sounds like a different kind of cheese, except Reed, which sounds like a plant, but you're skinny, so it makes sense.
Thank you very much. And congratulations as well to Richard Viguerie on receiving the Defender of Freedom Award, a big deal, and to Mike Huckabee, my friend, for a long time, long time,
Long time, long time.
getting the Lifetime Achievement Award. I think he's better now than he was 20 years ago. You want to know that? I heard what he had to say, but he is not a good example of it. You're in great shape. Thanks, Mike, and thanks for being a friend.
What? I heard what he had to say, but he's not a good example of it, but you're in great shape. What? Hold on. Back the fuck up. I don't even understand what that meant. Hold on. Where's my cursor? There you go. Back up.
He's better now than he was 20 years ago. You want to know that? I heard what he had to say, but he is not a good example of it. You're in great shape. Thanks, Mike, and thanks for being a friend.
He's not a good example of it. You're in great shape. Did he say did he make a joke that he's old or?
And I also want to thank a great politician and a fantastic person running. Christopher Columbus. Christopher, huh? For governor of North Carolina. His endorsement yesterday was amazing. Right? From North Carolina.
Yes, to be the governor of North Carolina and to actually be from there. That's weird. Notice Rand Paul didn't have to do that to be a senator.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson.
Oh, nice. He came all the way down there. I guess to get the nomination, like to get an endorsement from the lieutenant governor.
That was such an endorsement, it went viral. It was all over the world last night. I think.
But who is the lieutenant governor of North Carolina voted for?
He's going to do quite well. These young ladies followed me. I guess we have, 99? This is your 99th event. And they're
Yeah, I can't call them rallies anymore because they're not
from
really.
North Carolina, and they're incredible, and they're beautiful, and they happen to be rich, I think. But they're great, and he's
They have to be rich because they're at all these things. Who has that kind of money? I don't get a dime of it. They just fly around. I wish I owned Southwest.
going to do very well.
But I tried to buy it, and they laughed in my face.
Well, Mark, I think in North Carolina. Last but not least, let me say a very special thanks to all of you that are.
I don't know. I don't feel like letting him. I know I mean, I appreciate him asking permission. It's weird that he gives consent. You know, he asks for consent rather to say that. But I'm just not in the mood, I guess.
Gathered here, the crowd is incredible, and even outside, it's packed.
It's packed outside. Outside, I've never seen outside so full. It's so full out there. Outside feels like inside. It feels like inside. What?
North Carolina.
Outside is packed. Okay, that has to be a soundbite too.
Last but not least, let me say a very special thanks to all of
you that are gathered here. The crowd is incredible, and even outside, it's packed.
I hate when outside is full.
So something's going on. We do have great poll numbers. You know, we just got some poll numbers.
We're doing great with the people in this room, but we're doing even better with all the people outside. The people who aren't here, the people who are no longer
The press
here.
wasn't that long ago.
27 to 23.
Right.
That was good. That was good. That's against the Republicans and beating Biden by 11. You say, why only 11? How could he possibly do so well? But it's a real mess. Our country's in a horrible situation.
Horrible. It's so horrible. It's terrible. I mean, can you imagine? It couldn't be worse. I mean, obviously, I could still be in the Oval Office. It would be even worse.
Since 2016, Faith and Freedom Coalition volunteers have knocked on 17.8 million doors, reached over 30 million Christian voters in their homes. And last year alone, you reached another 30 million voters.
Wait, do they only knock on the doors of people with 17 kids? That's not, it seems like an off-kilter number of doors versus Christians, I gotta say. Maybe they're knocking on all the doors in a house. Maybe we have the place surrounded. Come out and take a pamphlet.
In their churches. Incredible job that Ralph and the group do. No group has fought harder in defense of the Judeo-Christian values that we all stand for and
Name one. Just off the top of your head. Just a general Judeo-Christian value. I would love to hear, please, one of them. Just your favorite one. Doesn't even have just one. Just your favorite. It doesn't even have to be your favorite. Just the first one that comes to mind. What could that be? What's your favorite Judeo-Christian value?
polled, and no group will be more crucial to our magnificent victory on Election Day 2024. So important.
So important, and you can tell I think I'm going to win by how I move my jaw to the side, like I'm freaking out like Roger Stone.
That'll be the most important election we've ever had. I said it with 2016, but I say it with 2024. I think even more strongly going to be the most important election this country has ever had, because our country is going to hell. With your help.
They don't seem to buy it. They didn't all go, yeah. A couple people were like, oh, I don't know. I had a really, the hockey game was pretty.
We're going to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we're going to take back our country, and we're going to make America great again.
Okay, so just wrap it up. I don't even know why that he shouldn't actually have to say any more for this crowd, right? He should be able to just say that and then go sit down. And then Mussolini, and Road to Majority, Washington, D.C., 2023.
For 7 years, you and I have been fighting side by side to rescue our country from evil and from the sinister forces who hate it. I believe they hate it. And
They hate the world.
I believe they actually want to destroy it.
They do. They want to destroy it. That's why they're building it up, so that the crash is even bigger.
Now we're approaching the most important battle of our lives. As we gather today, our beloved nation is teetering on the edge of tyranny. I believe that, and you believe that.
And we all believe that, or we wouldn't be in this room. We'd be at home doing other shit. We'd actually have a life, maybe even be going to concerts. We'd be eating out with friends if we had them, but we don't anymore because everybody here is just, you're effectively like a Trump version of an incel. You're a Trump cell.
Enemies are waging war on faith and freedom, on science and religion, on history and tradition.
I don't know if you know this, but science and religion have, just historically speaking, not the best of friends. I'm just, heliocentric models being what they are.
On law and democracy, on God Almighty himself. They are waging war. That's not
On God Almighty. And they think they can win. They're pretty sure they can take him. They're standing there. They've got their dukes up. They're ready to go toe-to-toe with the big guy.
a war they're going to win.
You don't think? No? You don't think, what if they, what if they really train hard? Sorry, this is so stupid.
The radicals are setting fire to our Constitution, abolishing free speech, attacking religious belief.
Because they won't let you install your religious belief into their households. Gotcha. Okay. I don't mean, and by the way, I don't mean him. He doesn't have any. I mean the other people there.
Erasing our borders, corrupting our elections, and we have corrupt elections.
Oh, they're corrupt.
And trying to impose their blasphemous creed and woke communism on every American man, woman, and child. And that's what
they're doing. They're trying to have woke communism, their blasphemous creed. Blasphemous creed. That was Apollo Creed's grandfather. That's probably who's training him when they go to fight God. Blasphemous creed. And then he gave then Apollo, and then Apollo Jr., whatever his name was. I didn't see the movie because I don't like it.
Elections. And trying to impose their blasphemous creed.
Blasphemous creed.
Blasphemous creed. Oh, God. Of woke communism.
Woke communism on every American man, woman, and child. And that's
well, you gotta start somewhere. You can't just do the adults. You gotta get every baby. You gotta walk up and you're gonna impose your blasphemous creed.
They're trying so hard.
They're trying so hard. They don't have to try hard with the kids. The kids buy it, but the adults, they're, some of them, they're old.
We've never had a situation like is going on.
No, we never had this. Not even during the Cold War. Not even when we actually had a functioning Communist Party in the country. Not even when the Nazis gathered together in Madison Square Garden. We've never had this. I don't know if you saw people gathering together there. There was like a Taylor Swift is getting people together.
Right now in our country.
Right now, Nickelback is touring. It's terrible. I don't know if you know this. They're Canadian.
But the people in this room will never let them do it. They'll never let them get away with it. And it's not going to happen.
No, these people will stop them because they're so popular and so interesting. Ralph Reed, Mike Huckabee, they can walk anywhere and people are like, oh, good, life of the party.
We will not waver in defense of our faith, our freedom, and our great American flag. They don't want the flag either. They don't want anything.
We don't want anything. We don't want the flag. We don't want the pole. We don't want the eagle. We don't want the ties. We don't want the red. We don't like the white. We don't like the blue. They don't like the stars or the stripes. They don't even like zebras. They don't even like those glow-in-the-dark stars you put on a ceiling. I've seen people do that. I wouldn't do it for my kids, but they do it all the time.
They don't want anything that's good.
Nope. They want all things that are bad.
They don't want anything that's good. That
They don't want anything that's good.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. They do.
They don't like any good things. They don't like fish delights. They don't like Adderall and benzos mixed together in a snortable powder. They don't like free pussy grabs. They don't like it. They don't like barging it on 15-year-olds when they're trying to chase. They don't like any of the fun stuff. They don't like Diet Coke. They don't like avoiding your children like they're the plague. Some of them do, but most of them don't. But if you don't, that's understandable. You might love your children, but if you don't, I hear you. They don't like anything that's good. They don't.
Oh, my God. This dude. How is this? How in the world? What, maggots, what are you thinking? This is ridiculous.
And you wonder why and how did they ever get elected in the first place? It's
Because I guess more than half the country likes the bad stuff, and you know what I mean.
Sick.
It's sick. They want sick things. They don't.
Together we're warriors in a righteous crusade to stop the arsonists, the atheists, globalists, and the Marxists. And that's
the arsonists, atheists, and okay, I'm glad he threw arsonists in there because finally we agree on something. I'm not pro-arson. I don't know about you, and I know I might lose my liberal card by saying this, but fuck arsonists. I think they're terrible people, and I think arson in its own right should be treated like attempted murder because it's a wanton, choice to endanger the lives of everybody, animals, vegetables, minerals. But I don't know that arsonist was in there. I think atheist was in there, and he just read atheist as arsonist. What do you think?
First place, it's sick. Together we're warriors in a righteous crusade to stop the arsonists, the atheists, globalists, and the Marxists, and that's what they are.
They are. They're burning it down. They're burning it all down. They want to burn the Bible. They want to burn the marks off of everything. They leave little marks all over everything. It's the soot, I think, from the arsonists. That's where the marks come from.
And we will restore our republic as one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. The menacing specter of left-wing repression has been growing steadily for years and years. It's been
mostly during my presidency. I don't know how that worked out. Maybe if I wasn't such an asshole, people would need to kind of overcompensate and pushing back on me, but I don't know. It's hard to say.
And we were stopping it very powerfully for 4 years, and now it's picked up at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
A level nobody's ever seen before. A level like nobody's ever leveled before. There's a level like nobody's ever seen before. I can't wait till he's retired and doing ads for hardware stores. This is a level like nobody's ever seen before.
Sorry. Very sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I gotta.
First, they slandered Americans of faith as haters and bigots. Then they corrupted the media.
No. Just the haters and the bigots among them. I would notice we didn't just come over and kick people in the head who were praying by themselves or being nice or doing charity work. You don't see us shitting all over Jimmy Carter, a man of faith and works, do you?
They installed radical left judges to subvert our Constitution.
Yes, unlike what Trump did.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
What?
They used the IRS to target conservatives. They spied on our campaign, and specifically, they spied on my campaign.
Not our campaign. I don't know who you other assholes are. My campaign. Back then, when I won, and I won, it was my campaign. Now that I'm losing, it's our campaign. Get it?
And we caught them.
But too late. We caught them too late to actually do anything.
Terrible. Nobody would have thought. Could you imagine if it was the other way? Could you imagine if, let's say, I spied? Let's not use Biden. Let's use Obama. Let's say, Mike Huckabee, that you and I spied on Obama's campaign. Do you think it would have been fine? You know, this would.
Well, there would have been an issue in that there's no way you were elected by your voters without Obama being elected, because a big chunk of the response of the voters that came out for you is because of, oh my God, Obama.
We'd be away for a long time, wouldn't we, huh? They tried to take down a presidency with hoaxes and witch hunts. They're still trying.
And I tried to take it down with golf. I was just gone all the time. I hope they didn't notice, but they did.
But we wouldn't let them. And now
we wouldn't let them, even though, and by we, I mean now it's we, because the Republicans stopped me from being kicked out.
Joe Biden has weaponized law enforcement to interfere in our elections, the greatest abuse of power.
He started running early and after he knew he was going to be indicted.
That I've seen and that most of you have seen in the history of our country. It's a hoax.
Yes, and Joe Biden has been here for the whole thing, so he knows.
Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists.
Don't forget the arsonists. We forgot the arsonists. Fuck those people. They're mean.
Indict me. I consider it a great badge of courage.
No, it'd be a badge of honor. Courage would be if you took on something on your own. Your reaction to something isn't courageous. Your reaction to something is that you dealt with it with honor, but you have none, and apparently you're allergic to that word, so badge of courage. Look at his jaw. Does. Oh, fuck this. Why am I even have to talk to these losers? Ayn Rand was right.
I'm being indicted for you, and I believe the you is more than 200 million people that love our country. They're out there, and they love.
They're out there. I'm going to get 200 million votes in the next election because these people are afraid. They're afraid they're going to get indicted for millions of dollars worth of tax fraud. And who among you doesn't have classified documents? Lots of them in your shitter.
Our country. I've been involved in the two greatest scams in American history.
I know.
This is a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time.
Well, at least he gives credit where credit is due.
Which has been fully exposed in the Durham report, the
Durham report. Man, that was a rocket ship.
the numbers should skyrocket downward.
Mm-hmm.
G report by Inspector General Horowitz did a great job on that report.
So great. It was a good report. It was concise. It got to the ending. The dirty pictures were great. I thought a centerfold was a good choice.
Look. And by great writers, journalists, and pundits all over the world. And its
All over the world, mostly in Macedonia, Russia.
primary purpose is exactly that, election interference. They want to interfere with the upcoming election.
Next year, which isn't even here yet. It's a whole fucking year away.
They want to demean, insult, do whatever is necessary to interfere. And as you know, the fake news doesn't
Demean, insult, and do whatever. Dude, it's only insulting because you're guilty.
report on all of the things that you're reading about and hearing about. You're hearing about things that you can't believe, bigger than Watergate, bigger than anything we've ever seen. And if you look at the New York Times, or if you look at the Washington Post, or the mainstream media of any kind, ABC, NBC, CBS,
All they talk about is the fact that Russia was attacked by its own, eating up the news. It's a distraction from somebody not paying their taxes, which I didn't do either, but what are you going to do?
not a word of it. Not a word. Not even.
Not a single word. No one even says a word. I mean, they ask him questions, and Biden says no, and knows a word, but
A
whatever.
little bit. They want to interfere
Not even a little bit.
Worse than on a level like no one's before seen this before seen.
with the fair and free election to a point where Joe Biden is willing to arrest his opponent, who is leading him in the polls by a very, very large number. They lie, they cheat, and they steal, and this is how low they've fallen in an attempt to win the 2024 election, and we're not going to let that happen. We're
Nope, we're going to keep on criming.
not letting it happen. They
Man, that side jaw, that's some serious Mimi Rogers shit right there, man. This is fucking You can just tell he is not happy to have to tell this speech, say the same shit all the time.
rigged the presidential election of 2020.
Basically, every sentence I say is, I'm a loser, over and over again. So I don't get it all. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you come and don't you do it?
We are not going to allow we are just not going to allow them to rig the presidential election of 2024.
Yes, it'll be just like the one of 2020, unless I lose, which I will, and then we'll say it is.
Not going to happen.
Not gonna,
I don't read, obviously. Charging a former president who did a good job.
Did a good job. Not a great job. Kind of a half-ass job, actually. Folded it, golfed a lot. Spent over 400 years worth of presidential salary golfing, but I didn't take the check. I gave it back so that they could afford to give it to my golf course.
A lot of people that were very happy. There are some people said it was the most consequential presidency.
Did they?
Charging a former president of the United States under the Espionage Act of 1917. That's like making nuclear weapons in your basement, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly what it's like. It's like, that's what espionage is. Espionage is making nuclear weapons in your basement. Which, I don't know if that's a
You
euphemism.
could say it's a back door, but I call it a smart door.
For something else?
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
Who can say? But
I think people saw that loud and clear.
agreed. You know, if you're gonna make something in your basement,
De-engineering.
you gotta break it down. Who knows?
An act for a crime so heinous that only the death penalty would do.
No, we've actually charged people with espionage and they've just gone to prison. We have gradations in this. We're not doing quick trial.
Is one of the most outrageous and vicious legal theories ever.
Aha! We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. It only took us, and we're good. We're almost on perfect time. 12 minutes and 54 seconds in. Congratulations. We have hit the magic word. Outrageous. That's right. Outrageous, ladies and gentlemen. Outrageous is the word that politicians use when they have actually, at some point, hold on, let me check. I should probably have a sound.
Where's
on that.
Dick? Hi, Dick. Do we like Dick? Yes. What?
Let's see. Hold on. This thing. There you go.
I had to beat off.
We'll figure out what the game over sound effect is. But once a politician says the word outrageous, that is proof positive that everything they are defending themselves against or saying that they didn't do is completely true, that they are guilty as charged. Outrageous is the dead giveaway. That's the magic word. Say the magic word and go straight to jail. That's the thing.
I had to beat off. I don't
They
think
don't like
that's.
the gas.
I don't. This
Here
is.
I am like an idiot.
That's pretty close. That could work or whatever. I
They
guess.
said, oh,
I know that's true. It's right. Absolutely.
I was a private business people.
What?
I was a private business people.
Never mind. Okay. Yeah, so it's game over for you. You lose. No good. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. It's I need to attach that to a button so that I can just fire that off with a sound effect whenever it happens. Oh, you really watching from Ukraine? Who? Oleg well, welcome. Slava Ukrainian. And good for you guys. That is the key giveaway. Oh, look at that. This is perfect, Michael. You nailed it. You nailed it. Is something missing? You're missing two key pieces of type there, I think. It's okay. Happens to everybody. No harm, no foul. Try again. Retype it. Go for it. There you go. Fire again. Yeah, spell it Y-O-A-R. Yaor. Yeah, so the magic word, whenever somebody like Trump says it, is, of course, outrageous. Outrageous is the dead giveaway word. Anytime a politician, a politician of any kind, by the way, this is not just a Republican thing. This is not a Democrat thing. This is across the board. If a politician defends himself by using the word outrageous, it is an admission of guilt.
In your basement, isn't it? An act for a crime so heinous that only the death penalty would do is one of the most outrageous and vicious legal theories ever put forward.
Outrageous. So he knows he's guilty of at least the documents case. This may not be, he may have convinced himself that the Georgia case is nothing. He had every right to ask for those votes. He may have convinced himself that him doing literally 100 times the tax and bank fraud that Hunter Biden has been accused of is somehow, like, by getting away with it, that makes him a better businessman. He can genuinely believe that. But in this case, when it comes to the documents case, which is what he's talking about in regard to this particular, to the Espionage Act and all that, he knows he's guilty, and that's the proof. That's how you know.
In an American court of law, it's a disgrace. And the people they have doing it are disgraceful. And just look.
Well, they would have to be if it's a disgrace. I mean, you don't want to farm that out to somebody who doesn't know what a disgrace is. That'd be outrageous.
At their record. Disgraceful.
It's disgraceful, apparently.
The Espionage Act has been used to go after traitors and spies. It has
So, yeah, okay. And
nothing to do with a former president legally keeping his own documents.
that's right. That's right. Which is not what you did. So, cool. Notice how he's, A, not saying any of this under oath anywhere, and B, not actually denying any of it.
As a president, the law that applies to this case is not the Espionage Act, as the lawyers will tell you, and they like to tell you, and the press doesn't like to write about it, but the courts of law.
The lawyers. You mean your lawyers, dummy. That's what they're supposed to, it's what you're paying them to say. The ones that didn't quit, anyways.
Law will see it, and they already know it.
No, they don't.
But the Presidential Records Act, which is not even mentioned in this ridiculous 44-page indictment of me.
Yeah, in 44 pages, they didn't mention it because it has nothing to do with the Presidential Records Act. This is about classified documents, and this is about a conspiracy to conceal and retain classified documents that you had no right to after you were no longer president. You know, we don't have like king for life shit. That's one of the things that makes this country great legitimately.
I didn't know about that. You know, when I graduated from the Wharton School of Finance, we didn't study being indicted.
How would you know? You're like 15th from the bottom.
Getting arrested, going to jail. We didn't know about that. They never.
Maybe you should have, because in terms of white collar crime, I don't know. Maybe they could make Martha Stewart an adjunct professor.
Taught us that. Under the Presidential Records Act, which is civil, not criminal.
Right, which had nothing to do with this, as you stated earlier. So what the fuck is your point?
Done in 1977, civil. I had every right to have these documents. Personal belongings in boxes.
Your personal belongings in boxes? We don't care about your personal belongings. Yeah, I would. By the way, thanks for being an idiot and making the distinction between these documents and your personal belongings, because they aren't.
Joe Biden didn't. Even Mike Pence didn't have that right.
Yes, they did, because of the executive order Obama signed while Biden was in office, allowing him the same declassification and classification powers as the president, as well as his cabinet heads, as long as they pertain to any of their particular cabinets. So Secretary of State could classify or declassify anything dealing with the State Department. Vice President had the same exact level of clearance as the president. If this fucker read anything, he would know this.
I don't read, obviously.
They weren't covered by the Presidential Records Act. I was, because I was president, but they weren't.
Do we have to do it again? Do we have to? Do we have to? Executive Order 13526, Classified National Security Information. Classification standards. This is about what they are and who gets to do it. Classification authority. The authority to classify information originally may be exercised only by the president and the vice president. This stood the entire Obama presidency. Also, Hillary Clinton and others, agency heads and officials designated by the president. But mainly, the president and the vice president. Number one, together, on the same level. You big dummy. Why do we even have to revisit this? By the way, hi chat room. Do we have to, I have to share this shit around? This is, hold on. Whee! You guys are, it's a big chat room tonight.
So you should see, you know, it's so many people in the chat room. You should see who's outside. There's so many people who want to get in the chat room. They can't fit. There's no room.
Gave you an effect for the game over in Discord. Oh, thank you. That's fantastic. Hold on. Let me see if I can, we'll reach over here and, should I be afraid? Hold on. Let's see. 1 second. Visit this site. Drop it a do. Go away. And then we'll take this and we'll see. Save as an MP3. Hold on. Download. Okay. There we go. Take this. That's great. I love that one. Well, hold on. I will move that 1 second. I'm doing a little bit of housekeeping. We'll do this. We'll go to here and we'll open up this guy and we'll take this guy. We'll copy this and we copy it and I will put it in my audio drops and I'll pop it right in here and I will paste it. And then I will create quickly as best I can in my Stream Deck. Let's see if I can do this real quick, if I may. We will create a multi-action. That's what I want to do. Put this in here. First thing I want to do is go to the OBS thing, and I will go source visibility. And with that, I will choose scene. I will choose comes, and I will choose, where is it? Game over. Where are you, silly thing? There it is. Put that on there. And then I will add that audio, let's see, in here as well. And then I will choose this and I'll go to audio drops and see if I can find this guy here. No, that's not it. Still an assets. Where'd this guy be? Oh, it's in, oh, I see. I want that in there. I want it elsewhere. I want this guy. Okay, put it in here. I think it's in there. Yeah, there we go. Then I'll take this and I will open it and we will see if it works. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. All right, I hear it. That's the good part. Okay, and then we'll it'll be up when I come back on it. Yay, there it'll be. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Hi. And go back to Trump's full speech. There we go. Move this back over here. That's fun. And then I got to do a button that makes it go away, but I'll work on that later. Boink. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to use it again. I have no doubt. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Backing up.
Presidential Records Act, which is civil, not criminal. Done in 1977, civil. I had every right to have these documents, personal belongings, in boxes.
Nope. Not the classified ones, stupid. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's good. I'll make it a multi-action and so I can pop it out later without having to click on anything. Good times. Thanks. Thanks, CSL. I'm good. It's going to drive me crazy. All right, here we go. Oh, my space bar. Never mind. All right, we'll do that later.
Joe Biden didn't. Even Mike Pence didn't have that right. They weren't covered by the Presidential Records Act. I was, because I was president, but they weren't. But these scoundrels and thugs, they only come after me. They didn't go after the many, many other presidents that kept their documents. You know about it. Many, many others. If you look at the Bush family, if you look at even Jimmy Carter, and I'd say he's innocent. I say Jimmy Carter's innocent.
It's just making shit up. Everybody takes these things. They return them as soon as they have them, but I didn't do it because I had every right to do it. I fought the law, and the law won, and it shouldn't. It's outrageous.
But they went after me. They didn't go after anybody else. And they.
So what was the difference between you and all of those people that upon discovering that they had classified documents in their property and on their person or about them person or in their homes or whatever, they returned it forthwith and allowed a voluntary search by the FBI or by the relevant authorities to make sure that there were not other classified documents in the wind? You, however, engaged in a months-long conspiracy to lie to your own attorneys and hide these things.
They went after me criminally.
Because it's not having the documents, it's hiding the documents.
And it's not a criminal violation. It's not even a violation under the Presidential Records Act. And what?
Not if you give them back. That might be the rub, dum-dum.
Could be more accurate a statement than Presidential Records Act. That's what we're talking about.
That's what it says. It says I act like these are presidential records. I'm allowed to act like anything I want. I can't even act. You saw Home Alone 2?
People, can't tell if people are laughing at him or with him in that one.
Not espionage. It's not espionage. The crucial legal precedent.
The French don't even have a word for espionage.
It is laid out in the most important case ever on the subject, known as the Clinton socks case. You know that? In his sock drawer. Socks. Let me give you a hint. It has something to do with socks and taking. In his sock drawer, taking things out in your socks.
No, it doesn't.
After leaving the White House, Bill Clinton kept 79 audio tapes in his socks and his sock drawer. So he put them in his sock.
His sock drawer.
In his sock drawer.
Mm-hmm. La-di-da. Pardon me, mate. I'll be in the drawing room playing the grand piano next to my sock drawer.
I didn't. I put mine in boxes outside of the White House, and the GSA picked them up and delivered them.
Wait, you have tapes? There's tapes? Why would you just tell everybody you got tapes, dummy? What tapes? Because the reason Clinton got to keep his is because they were recordings for his memoirs about certain things, and they'd been clear. You know, they obviously didn't violate any of the of his classifications because they were simply his own personal recollections, along with written, you know, like written notes on documents. And there was this difference. They fought it in court about whether or not, you know, if you make notes on government documents, the government has the right to retain those afterwards. But if you make your own journals or you record your own voice, you get to keep them. And the reason you get to keep them is has a lot to do, by the way, with your former AG, Bill Barr, who helped George H.W. Bush hide his journals that had evidence about the Iran-Contra affair that would have made him and Reagan culpable in this. And they were going to use it in the plumbers cases, but he was able to, you know, argue that these are my personal journalistic recordings or notes in this journal, and therefore they are not under the Presidential Records Act, nor is the vice president. Do I have to follow that? So these are just my own personal, like if you, I don't know, if you kept a diary, you don't have to turn the diary over. Same thing. By the way, and these aren't, Trump didn't write the attack plan on Iran.
Where there was
Trump didn't extemporaneously into a hand recorder dictate where our nukes should be parked.
Supposed to be delivered. But they included in the Clinton discussions and the Clinton tapes a discussion of U.S. military involvement in Haiti.
Yes. After the fact, and his own personal recollections about his decision-making process. Not the details about Haiti, you dumbass.
He can't get away from Haiti, can he? Right?
Well, once they did, it's fallen apart. Can I just say for the record, does anybody want to go and look at, they attacked the Clinton Foundation and they attacked the support for Haiti that the Clinton Foundation was trying to do. And then they literally shut down the Clinton Foundation because everybody goes after it and it can't function anymore. And everybody who works there is getting death threats all the time from QAnons. And then as soon as it shuts down, what happens in Haiti? How's Haiti doing right now? Again, this is like the Hunter Biden thing. You got to invest your money in Burisma. Do you do it before or after Hunter Biden is there? Sorry, it's, how do you pronounce it?
The Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese.
Mm-hmm.
He's done very well with Haiti. Discussion.
He's done very well with Haiti. What, Hal Sparks, Wagner forces shoot down Russian airborne command post inside Russia. Is that new, Carl? Is that just happening? Yeah, Clinton Foundation is still working on the Clinton Global Initiative. Yeah, Wagner forces shoot down Russian airborne command post inside Russia. All right, hold on one second, because this might be our, you know, our focal point from this point on. Give me 1 second.